Good day, Grace Harbor. This is Mark, and today I'm bringing to you on Set Sail with Grace Harbor the story of Exodus 16 through 18. So there's 4 parts to it. The first part is the Israelites grumbling in the desert after they run out of provisions. The second part is them grumbling about not having water. And then the third part is how Moses used his staff to beat the Amalekites. And the fourth part is Jethro encouraging and giving advice to Moses. The first part's interesting because the Israelites had just witnessed the miracles of the plagues. They had just witnessed the miracles of the parting of the Red Sea. They had seen God lead them by day and by night. And they come to the desert and say to Moses, hey, you're going to kill us in the desert? We supposedly had a lot of meat back in Egypt all the time. Well, God provided greatly for them with quail that night that covered the entire camp, and then manna every day. That was good tasting, by the way. It was made of honey, so it was good tasting. It wasn't a cold gruel bowl of soup. It was good tasting wafers. So the moral of that story is that we often forget what God does for us. We often forget that God provides for us and that he can provide for us in miraculous ways, even when we're like, there's no way you can provide in this way, this way or this place. The second story is like it in that that miracle just happened, and then they get led a little bit further in the desert by fire and by the cloud, which is God. And then they say, hey, you brought us out in this desert to make us die of thirst. And Moses takes his staff and strikes a rock, and it produces sweet water, not just potable water that tastes bad, but sweet, good tasting water. So once again, we, like the Israelites, forget that the God of the universe is providing for us. God is providing for us, and he is providing for us. The third story is about the power of the staff of Moses. The Amalekites come and attack the Israelites, and Joshua goes out to fight them, and they all notice that when Moses raises his staff, that they win, and when the staff is lowered, the bad guys start winning. And so what they decide to do is have 2 guys prop up Moses' arms to keep the staff up after Moses gets tired. The interesting thing about this is the staff. I was wondering, what was the power in the staff? Well, if you go back to when Moses met God at the burning bush, he gave him a staff to say, use this and I'm going to show signs through it. So once again, the purpose of that battle was to show how God is going to provide and protect the Israelites. The last part is about Jethro, and Jethro now comes to see Moses, and in seeing Moses is delighted to hear all the wonderful stories that Moses has to say about how he dealt with Pharaoh, the plagues, the parting of the Red Sea. But Jethro's a little discouraged because he sees that Moses is just wearing himself out. So Moses is the only judge for all of these people and spends all day and all night deciding matters for the people. And so Jethro pulls him aside and says, hey, you're going to wear yourself out. Why don't you get other people that are godly men to do lesser cases for you, and you only get the toughest cases, and then that way you can meet the people's needs, but then also you don't get worn out. And so I think that's a story that's just a really cool story of a father-in-law who likes his son-in-law and is really proud of him and gives really good advice. I think the takeaway there is that it is okay to delegate, it is okay to rest, and good counsel is very helpful. Thanks to all that are listening, and tune in tomorrow.